share the leads.
Flash report.
Oh man, big ups to y'all, man. Tough Tiger talk. Big Q in the building, man. Tigers handle business, man, in a good fashion against Southeastern University. The Lions got ran off, man, and they got just plastered 56-10. This was kind of a game that we expected LSU to have and to take care of business in a major fashion against no disrespect, a far inferior opponent to what they were dealing with, and they were able to take care of business in a very good fashion. I don't know. I know the spread. Y'all correct me in the chat. I think the spread was 48.5 or 49.5. I think the LSU, they was trying to cover the spread, man. But this is what we wanted to see. When you play a more inferior opponent like a Southeastern team, no disrespect to them, it's just levels to this stuff. And LSU was supposed to 50 burger this club. They were able to take care of business 56-10 over this squad, man, and that's what we wanted to see. We seen Garrett Nussmeier put up some really good numbers. He up in the game. We seen LSU kind of ran the score up. They scored 35 points in the first half alone, and then ultimately 50 burgered the Southeastern Louisiana Lions. And that's what I'm talking about. That gives you, this is what LSU Nation, a lot of people, and I think Coach Kelly on the back end of that press conference, he tried to steer the narrative a little bit. We kind of, getting the reporter, I think he apologized to the man, but I think Coach Kelly was trying to steer the narrative a little bit about what was going on with the offense, trying to kind of cover it up a little bit. But the reality is, this is we wanted to see as the diehards. We wanted to see the offense flow, because as the season is going forward, you're going to face some way stiffer opponents than what we've seen tonight. And these are the type of games that you need to have to kind of crystallize what's going on, because we know Ole Miss is the next opponent. That'll be a 2:30 kickoff game after a 2:30 p.m. game in Ole Miss, and they took care of Tulane. They dispatched the Green Wave today quite easily. So that's going to be a very tough road matchup going up to Oxford to take on Ole Miss. But as far as tonight is concerned, man, just celebrate in the fact that LSU took care of business against Southeastern, man, and in a way that we all approve on, man. Anyway, let's hit the statistics in the matchup, man. The LSU Tigers, man, tonight, 32 first downs in the game. And listen, they weren't perfect, but, they had a much better effort against a far, more an inferior talented foe. Even though the defense was getting after us early on and stopping the run, and then the wall broke and it was over with. 9 of 14 from third down for the Tigers. 1 of 10 defense put up a stiff stand against Southeastern. 3 for 3 on fourth down, so the numbers are really good. They put up 530 yards of total offense, 210 by Southeastern. The passing attack, almost 400 yards by LSU versus 116. They averaged over 9 yards per pass attempt today. Then, of course, the rushing game, LSU had 135 yard effort on 35 carries. That's 4 yards per run, in holding Southeastern to just 94 yards on the ground on 26 attempts. They had 7 penalties for 50 yards, but the way the game flowed, it didn't even matter. 5 penalties for 55 yards for Southeastern. No turnovers on either side of the game. So LSU, in terms of having a very solid 9-turnover game, it was pretty good. They didn't force any turnovers. So it simply is what it is. 34-44 was the time of possession versus 25-16. LSU getting that control there. And of course, you look at the individual statistics. Garrett Nussmeier, injury and all, sore torso and all this other stuff, was 25 for 31 for 273, averaged 9 yards throw, had 3 passing touchdowns today for him. And then Michael Van Buren, who got in there, number 11, got in there in the cleanup duty, and he did a really good job. And we were actually getting a look at the potential starting quarterback in 2026 and number 11, Michael Van Buren. So I hope you guys are able to watch him and see, what your potential future quarterback looks like. Of course, LSU will be kind of working the things to add more talent there, but 10 of 12 for 122 yards. He averaged first down every time he threw the ball. He also had a touchdown there. So good to see that. Also the rushing attack. How about Juwan Johnson, man? How about the good Juwan Johnson? He had 8 carries for 43 yards. He averaged over 5 yards of rushing, had 2 rushing touchdowns. Harlan Berry got in there for 7 for 28 on 4 yards average there. Caden Durham, 7 for 17. Not too much from him. And of course, Michael Van Buren even scrambled for a touchdown. He threw for 1 and ran for 1. 4 scrambles for 16 yards in the touchdown. Garrett Nussmeier also got him a little scrambling touchdown and 10 yards off of 5 attempts there. Of course, the receiving game was Bauer Sharp, who had a very solid game. 5 catches, 73 yards and a touchdown. Averaged over 14 yards per catch today. He really starting to come into his own. Baron Brown had another solid effort by LSU wide receiver. He had 5 catches for 54 yards, 11 yards per average and a touchdown. Kyle Parker, 4 for 52, 13-yard average and a score as well. Aaron Anderson, not too much pop from him today. He was 3 for 46. Donovan Green had 2 for 40. Xavier Thomas had 2 for 26 and a touchdown there as well. So guys are just trying to get it all together and keep it moving. On the defensive side of the ball, a lot of the stuff going on here. You can see Deshaun Spears was one of the top guys right there. In terms of tackles, you look at the sacks, 2 by Damian Shanklin today, half by Jacoby and Guillory, and another half by Jack Pilburn. So you see Pyburn is there, and Carpenter also had a sack for them as well. So no interceptions by them, but this was a game by LSU. Ramos was 8 for 8 on the extra points. He had 8 points, not much to shake on that. Grant Chadwick, the punter, only 2, but for 99 yards, average 49 and a half yards. So this is basically, for all intensive purposes, one of those games on your schedule where you just test things out that you need to have, and it's a big confidence galvanizing win, because you need a 50 burger like this. And LSU, 3rd in the nation, they improved to 4-0, and they have 3-0 at home. They have a massive road test, just like before when they went to Clemson to start the season off. Ole Miss is playing really well right now. That's the next opponent. And it's going to be it's going to be one of these prime games. I don't know if it's a 2:30 kickoff game on the 27th. So we'll see if they move it or whatnot, but they're saying right now at 2:30, and that's what we expect. But this is a massive SEC showdown between LSU's number 4, the Ole Miss Rebels, currently 13th in the nation. They're 4-0, so somebody's O is got to go. And right now they're trying to give it 69% toward Ole Miss. But for tonight, how about LSU and what they were able to do in 50 burger, and a really good game in terms of just getting that out of the way. Just getting a real good win over an opponent that we were supposed to just take care of business very drastically, and they did that indeed. So that's very positive, to be honest with y'all, man. And I just think it was a good win. Now this could have been a lot worse than what it was. You see Nick Anderson drop 2 touchdown passes in the game. That's the good. The good, what I just talked about. The bad was it could have been a lot worse than this, to be honest with you. Nick Anderson, I don't know what to say about him. He dropped 2 touchdown passes in the game. So, that's something that I'm pretty sure that Coach Kelly going to look at. You look at all of the good, and then you focus on the bad. But it didn't matter much today for LSU, because the business was taken care of in a huge fashion. They beat the brakes off an opponent that they were supposed to beat the brake off, and we just good about this right now for LSU, and celebrate the win, and then turn around and get ready for the matchup that is supposed to come up when we face Ole Miss, who, like I said, they stumped down on Tulane today. So it's going to be fun and interesting. You can see the matchup indicator showing 69.5% for Ole Miss. Going up there, it's going to be a tough matchup, man. Going to be a tough matchup. This team is going to be interesting, man, to see how LSU handles Ole Miss. I mean, man, I just think, it's going to be in Lane Kiffin is really coming. He's been up there for 5 years. This is his 5th season in Oxford, and he is really coming to his own with this club, and we'll see just how well, this will work. Right now, if you look at the standings right now in the SEC, you'll see the top 2 teams right here. You can see it to your right of your screen right there. It shows Southeastern Conference, Ole Miss 2-0, in conference at 4-0. You can see there are several teams, 1, 2, 3, and 4 teams that are currently 4-0, along with LSU, Ole Miss, Missouri, and Oklahoma. And Ole Miss right now is the top conference team right there in terms of conference records. They're sitting on top of the SEC. LSU is right up under them. So a win here kind of catapults the next team into the top of the conference early, and LSU's kind of setting itself up as we get ready for what is pretty much going to be a very difficult SEC schedule moving forward. But we're not scared of no ghosts, man. I think we this team has been fighting through. And Coach Kelly, man, you can see in these last, in these last several weeks, especially last week, with him getting kind of pissy with the report. I think a lot of the pressure, because it ain't easy to coach at LSU, man. We're very demanding down here. We don't want to hear no BS. We got all the money. You've been here for 4 years. We don't want to hear nothing. It's time for you to do what some of these other coaches that were here for in their 3rd and 4th years. Win a title. That's enough year for you galvanized to build some talent. I know it sounds unfair, but that's the standard. Don't take the money and don't take the job if you can't deal with it. And that's just the bottom line, how we think here, man. So anyway, with that being said, man, I just think it's going to be interesting, man, getting ready for the next matchup. LSU is going to battle Ole Miss after we celebrate this 50 burger over SC that was supposed to be. So should we celebrate? I think it was what I'm really happy about. Let me just say that. What I'm happy about with the win over to Southeastern today is the fact that LSU wasn't really doing nothing offensively, like to the level we wanted to. Is mostly these incremental games here or there, and the defense was kind of holding and pinching down at other people. We did have a very interesting game, left some opportunities in the Clemson game, but this game right here, even early on, they started a little slow in the first quarter rather, and then in the second quarter, they made the adjustments and the dam broke, and they just ran all over the team. You need games like this against lesser foes, so it gets your confidence up. And also LSU was able to test some stuff offensively, give that offensive line some confidence and give these guys some fight. They're 4-0 and 3-0 at home. That's good for LSU. They've been tested. And then, of course, the demands of the Tiger Nation on Coach Kelly is forcing him to put more pressure on his coaches and his players to perform. So LSU had a game or so here where they were winning based on defense and all this kind of stuff. And now the offense steps in there and makes some plays. And that is something that if you want to win the national championship again, you're going to need offense, defense, and special teams to play at a high level. We are not quite there, but having this type of win definitely it puts us in the right direction. You're supposed to spank a team like you spanked them today. All right. So anyway, Rose says, yes, it's 48.5. Isn't that something, fam? They didn't. They 48.5. So Vegas, either they have a crystal ball or something else is going on. I'm gonna let y'all fill in the blanks on that thing. But yeah, this was a win that was supposed to be, fam. To be honest with you, it was a win that was awesome for LSU to do and smack down this team. And then at the end of the day, it's just all the way a positive. Anyway, fam, we're gonna get ready to go to Coach Kelly. Here's Coach Kelly. Let's see what he had to say at the post game. Here we go.
I think we start with, we have a standard of the way we wanted to play, and I thought we upheld that standard. There's no perfection out there. But there was definitely some progress. So we made the progress that we were looking for. Now we got to build on that going into Ole Miss on the road against a very good football team. Again, the goal here was to play to a standard, not to the opposition. A lot of respect for Coach Selfo and what he's done and accomplished. But, we had the better team and the better players. So it then becomes much more about your execution and the things you do. And I thought we did some pretty good things today, certainly. So with that, we'll open up the questions.
Yeah, Brian, how do you maybe judge the way Garrett played against a team, how well he played against a team that's overmatched, but when he also hadn't done some of those things yet this year? Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I think, you look at the efficiency in which he threw the football, targeting the football, seeing the field. It's still, whether they're, a step behind or not, it's still recognition and feeling comfortable out there. And you could see there was a higher level of comfort in terms of him throwing and then, certainly running the football as well. So, we're not, saying that, we beat the number one team in the country, but it still requires, the technical development that we hadn't seen. And now that he's healthy, he's able to do a lot more.
Coach, how do you think Juwan Johnson's decisiveness as a runner has helped him? How do you think his experience at quarterback has helped his decisiveness as a runner?
I just think he sees the game really well. I think his natural instincts took over at that position. And I think we all saw the same things. Very impressed with the way he played, the way he ran, catches the football, does a lot of really good things for us. He's a really good football player, and we knew that, right? I think we all knew about him coming out of high school in terms of what he could do, and we saw a glimpse of that tonight.
Yeah, Brian, specifically, what did you want to see out of your offense tonight? I mean, going into this game, the transfer from the practice field.
Yeah, I think the aggressiveness, as you know, we went forward on 4th and 11. That wasn't something that we had been doing. I thought we needed to get out there with some rhythm, throw the football, mix in the run, but operate like an offense needs to operate. I thought we were very conservative early on, but that was, by plan. Tonight needed to be one where we felt that we moved in the right direction from an offensive perspective.
What'd you think of Garrett's accuracy, zip on the ball, and just his mechanics?
They were so much smoother. His awareness in the pocket, his ability to get the ball out in the vertical seams, very easily could have hit a post for a touchdown. A couple of them were challenging catches. I think we only had one ball really that we didn't hook up with Nick Anderson on a comeback to the field, and they weren't on the same page. Other than that, I thought his ball placement was really good.
How you doing, Coach? Right here.
Got it.
In the back. Bauer Sharp, I thought he had a great game. Actually started his college career off at Southeastern, then wound up at Oklahoma, now at LSU. How have you seen his leadership really transpire on this football team?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all hear this quite a bit. I think really good players affect others around him, and his energy, his passion for the game brings up others around him. Nice to see him catch the football. We thought we would get a chance to get it to the tight end. And certainly we found him in some big situations. I think our third down conversion was 9 of 14, and he was targeted on some of those. But obviously, starting at Southeastern Louisiana, this was a big game. He was one of our game day captains, and he was excited to play in it.
Coach, our first time seeing Michael Van Buren on the field this year. Him and Garrett tonight, they spread out the ball. You had 7 different Tigers hit the end zone. What can you say about decision making and just maybe your offense turning a page this year?
Yeah, I was pleased with Mike tonight. I thought there was a couple of zone reads that I want to be really critical, but I thought he threw it on really good tempo and balance. Ball came out on time. I thought, from my perspective, for a kid that hadn't played and hadn't got much time since last year, I thought he came in and you can see the talent that you have at that position.
Ryan, you talked a lot about confidence in the past. What does a game like this do for the confidence of not only your offense, but your defense as well?
Yeah, I think more than anything else, it's, for our defenses that they want to play to a standard and maintaining that standard. I think they showed that obviously in the first half. We made some changes obviously in personnel. I think everybody's aware of that. But this group on defense is got a lot of pride and they know that they can be a great defense, but it takes consistency. So today was a big day for them, right? Where they knew they could let their guard down. And if they did, it would be seen. They did not. They came and were mature about the way they practiced this week, and you could see it on the field.
In short yardage situations, y'all went under center quite a bit. What was kind of the thinking into that this week, and is that something that can be expected to be seen moving forward?
How do you like it? You like under center? Didn't know if there was a second question coming there. Yeah, I just think that, from what we're trying to do from an offensive perspective is that we want to strike on a wide front with that run game. And sometimes if you're in the pistol or if you're in shotgun, it's hard to hit the C gap and bounce things out. And I think direct snap gives us a lot more variety to the run game. And it's proven to be effective for us. So I think you'll see more of it.
Right here, right?
Just wanted to say hello. We don't have to add any more. I could leave right now. That'd be nice.
I got one right here. Another game, another targeting call, another conversation with an official.
See, I knew you were going to set me up for this. You were just waiting. You were just trying to get something to get me.
No, just
how am I doing? I'm doing so calm and collected. Man, and then you throw that one out. Look, I don't know what to say anymore. It's an offensive lineman who we don't work any time with tackling, and it was a runner, and he might not have had the best form on the play, but he wasn't looking to target or knock somebody out of the game. He was trying to hold on for dear life. It's just, I just don't know why we can't figure this out. We can't do it right now. I get it. But at the end of the year, this has got to be addressed. And I know what I'm going to get hit with. Well, if we do that, then targeting's head injuries are going to rise. And I just think that's, an easy way out of this conversation. Yeah, it's going to take a hard decision that a runner in that situation, it's incidental contact. And if you want to give him a 15-yard penalty, go ahead. But to throw him out of the game, obviously I'm not on that side of it.
Coach, first of all, congratulations on a good win. Now, earlier in this news conference, you used the word healthy to describe Garrett Nussmeier. I know that he had been battling a torso issue since training camp. Yes, would you describe him right now as 100%? And if not, do you expect him to be 100% for the Ole Miss game next weekend?
Yeah, I'd say that, we had talked about during the week that he was on the other side of the injury and he felt really good. And that's why, we actually ran him a little bit. He felt good running the football. And we knew during the week that he was healthy just by the way he was throwing the football. So, yeah, I would say that's the version that you'll get the rest of the year.
You guys rotated quite a bit on the offensive line today with Cohen and Karius Kern, DJ Chester. Just what did you like about some of the guys that were able to rotate in? And
we're just trying to create a new line of scrimmage, and we're very demanding with that group in terms of creating a new line of scrimmage. And we're evaluating our offensive linemen after contact. I mean, it's easy to line up. You shouldn't jump offside. You need to stay locked in. You need to know who to get and how to get them. But at the offensive line, there's contact. What are you doing after contact? And that was a big point of emphasis today. We were giving guys an opportunity to show us how well that they were going to play after initial contact.
I got two if I could. Coach, I noticed Caden Durham limped a little bit at the end of the second quarter off the field. Is he doing okay?
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll get an MRI. The first I heard was an ankle sprain, but we like to check those things out. So we'll get probably an MRI and make sure everything's good, or a full scan tomorrow, and then we'll have a better report on them.
Thank you. And then red zone 6 of 6, fourth down 3 of 3, and then very efficient on third down as well. Just what was different about the execution and the key moments in this game today?
Yeah, that's what we were looking to do offensively. If there were some priorities, if you will, in this game from an offensive standpoint was the conversions. We talked about it last week. We didn't convert very well in short yardage situations. That needed to be a point of emphasis. So when we got those opportunities, we were prepared. We had the calls that we liked during the week dialed up. And we wanted to get into some fourth down situations because invariably you're going to have these. We didn't do that in the first 3 games. So we needed these opportunities. This game was a really good opportunity for us to sharpen up in those areas that we're going to need moving forward.
Coach, Juwan Johnson led the team in carries tonight. Is that something we should expect more moving forward, or was it more matchup based tonight?
No, I don't think it was matchup. I think, he was in the rotation. And Coach Wilson likes to go with a hot hand. If he sees a couple of really good runs and he likes the way that player's running, they may get a few more carries. So I don't know that I would read too much into it, other than he's a valuable player for us and he'll be part of our rotation. Good. Thank you.
All right. That's Coach Kelly, man. Kind of breaking it down, man. And it's kind of letting us know what time it is in terms of the team, and a more composed Coach Kelly after the victory, right? Handling the business. It was a full team effort. And like I said, it's a good win. This is the type of win. I think a lot of the Tiger Nation, they're not spoiled. I remember Coach Kelly said that in the heated previous press conference about how LSU. I don't think it's the temperament that the faithful, the diehards, are spoiled. We have a high standard here, and sometimes we're not going to allow people to pull the standard down because they feel uncomfortable by it. You get what I'm saying? We're just not going to allow that to happen. So U50 burgering a Southeastern team. The spread was 48.5, which is, interesting, but that was the standard. We, as the faithful know, when you get a Southeastern that comes in here, you got to plaster those guys. We would, even if they beat them 35-7 or something like that, we would have been like, that's all right. But you have to fully dominate teams on that level. And like I said, what it does is because it's the standard. It's what we do. Now we face a very difficult Ole Miss team in their building coming up next week. which is going to be in itself a very interesting matchup in the SEC, because it basically will decide the early lead, us taking the lead and putting ourselves in position to be looking at a championship, possibly the C word, getting a championship here once again under Coach Kelly. I mean, he's built a really good program, and it's time for it to bear fruit. We've been growing these been watering this stuff for a while. It's been 4 years. It's time to see what you've been working on. 56-10 win is awesome and beautiful and well endowed. But here is the next one. This is the next one on the horizon, and we'll have to take care of business against the Ole Miss team that's playing really well. It kind of changes our time frame playing under the lights. We're really comfortable playing under the lights. We're going to have to go up to a 2:30 kickoff time in Oxford against Ole Miss out there in Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. And we have to take care of business. Like I said, LSU, they're picking LSU, actually picking against LSU. The matchup predictor, whatever is for betting purposes, have LSU losing. I mean, this game to Ole Miss, 69.5%, according to ESPN Analytics. So with that being said, we'll kind of preview this matchup as we go into the week, because it's going to be one of those spotlight matchups that a lot of the national people will be talking about and discussing, because it is a very interesting matchup. LSU, top 3 team in the entire country, taking on a very difficult Ole Miss club, and we usually have issues going up to Ole Miss. It's a very difficult place to play. Kiffin has got those guys buzzing. So it's going to be a really good matchup between undefeateds, and somebody always got to go. Hopefully it's on the Ole Miss side of it. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to cut out on that, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all for joining on this episode of Tough Tiger Talk, the recap stream, man, and listen to Victorious plastering of a subpar foe. No disrespect, Southeastern. There's levels to this. LSU blows out Southeastern Louisiana 56-7, and now 4-0, and they are undefeated in terms of conference play. And we'll take care of business against Ole Miss. We'll line all that up later on this week. Y'all hit the like button, hit the share button. Once again, thank y'all for joining us for this coverage, and we'll see you later on in the week. Much love, and go Tigers.